Welcome to my channel and welcome to the videos where I show all my colored pictures. In this series I decided to include my books published by Blue Angel Publishing. It's Australian company, and I think that in their books there is one of the best coloring paper. I have here a book by J.Wall, Enchanted Fairies, couple of books by R.Phelan, and then books by J.Becket-Griffith. The quality is the same, paper is the same, perfect both for watercolor, water-soluble media like Derwent ink tents, like Kohinoor Mondeluz, Neocolor crayons, and paper is great also for all pencil brands. I prefer to work in these books with Prismacolors, but polychromes also work well so far at budget pencils also. Let's start with J.Wall. Well, it's a difficult book for beginners because the original art by J.Wall, it has a lot of tiny details, and when they transformed her full color paintings into line art, they kept this amount of details and lines. Maybe they had to clean pictures a little bit because for many pictures here, line art is intimidating and lines sometimes they are even confusing. Look at this one. It's difficult to find the main image without looking at full color painting by J.Wall. So far I managed to do only 2 pictures. The first one, which I did when I just received the book, I selected a picture where there is a moderate amount of lines and elements. It's Peaches. Mostly I used here watercolors. I absolutely loved how watercolors behaved on this paper, but I was intimidated to start something else. Even if this winter picture I want to do already for several years. But after this one I did a break for several years, and my second finished picture here I did at the time when COVID started and the whole world stayed in isolation. Of course it was quite unusual, disturbing situation. Well, I didn't know yet that then we will have war, so I was quite perturbed at that moment. And I decided to color something according to the moment. So here I did picture where I try to show the fragile airs, fragile world, and I think that this lovely angel it also quite suitable for the idea which I wanted to put into this coloring. The background is done with regular and pearlescent watercolors to create halo around the airs. Flowers, airs, and angel coat I did using Prismacolors, probably her hair also, and of course a lot of white paint. Yes, line art is complicated, but at least it's not difficult to cover black lines here. Well, I hope that one day I will find inspiration to do something else here. As I said, that winter picture with snow angel, it's one of the easiest in the book, so maybe one day I will do it. Next, I have books by very interesting and unique artist. It's R.Phelan. Her full color art is quite amazing. I love to look at it. First, I got her book about dragons. And for me, it's one of the biggest regrets for this year that I hadn't touched this book. And even if I dearly love the theme of dragons in coloring, and if I love the quality of the book, so far I did only 1 picture here. It's such a shame. From year to year I can't return to this one, but I still hope that one day I will sit and I will do many pictures here, especially now when I gathered even more beautiful art supplies like pens of ink pens and graphitins, a lot more of metal watercolors. So I hope that with my new art supplies, my dragon pictures here, they will be even more beautiful. Here I did main image with Prismacolors, and I especially love those shiny gemstones. But background also is nice with black and dark blue regular watercolor, and then I dropped a little bit of metal blue to support color of the dragon and color of the gemstones. Another book by R.Phelan, it's all about animals, and when I got it, I somehow decided to challenge myself and to color here only with watercolors or water-soluble pencils. Well, it was difficult because here line art is also a little bit complicated. Maybe if I allow myself to use pencils here, my bear would look more three-dimensional, fur would look better. But in the same time, such coloring, such challenge to use only watercolor, it really helped me to learn better my watercolors. My skills at that moment, they were quite limited. I was afraid to blend colors, to mix them. Of course, I tried to copy colors from the cover, and only the bottom part I did from myself. I also love to combine here regular and shiny watercolor, a lot of gold, a lot of bronze color. I think that it supports the idea of spirit animals. What else I have here? You know, here I can color animals, but sometimes I'm intimidated how to do the background. Again, now I have in my stash more of granulating watercolor. Maybe they will be good to create backgrounds here. So I need to return to this book and to color more. Here the oh my god, how the hawk probably. The hawk I did with pencils, but the autumn landscape behind I did with watercolors. For me it also wasn't very easy to color autumn trees with watercolors. And I think that the main attention goes to all those golden sigils, which I did with tiny brush and with golden watercolors. Birds are easier to color for me. Animals are more complicated. Oh, this one I really want to do, but never have enough courage to start it. I have this turtle. And again, it's only watercolors. Here I think that background is good. Then I love her paws. Sorry guys, I don't know how to call this part of the turtle. What I dislike is her head. Here I think that I totally messed up. I don't like her eyes and nose. The rest, the body is okay. With just watercolors I think that it looks not so bad, but her head, well, it was a little bit disappointing. Another one where I tried to mask imperfections of my watercolor skills with a lot of shining, so the whole page is really very shiny. I love to color black feathers. It's quite interesting to select which other colors you add to black. A little bit of brown, a little bit of blue or violet to add shining to the glossy feathers. So I love to color ravens and other blackbirds. And finally, my best work here so far, it's this one. Here I combined Derwent Inktense on the Lizard Wizard. And the background I did with various watercolors. All those dark greens, dark blue, dark brown colors, dark grays. I think that they created very good contrast to the vibrant colors of the lizard body. Maybe lizard actually looks like chameleon, and I was inspired by beautiful color combos of chameleon skin, but as this is wizard, I think that we are allowed to use very vibrant colors, and I love those inscriptions which the artist added, and I tried to also make them quite visible even on such background. Well, maybe not much, but I remember that for me it was a huge step forward to work only with water-soluble media. I was proud of myself, even when pictures didn't turn out exactly like I imagined them. I own all books by J.Becket-Griffith, and she is one of my favorite artists, especially when pictures are printed on such a good paper. But unfortunately, a really good progress I had only in this one, and all those pictures, they are quite old. I don't know why, but during last years I almost never touch any of her books, even if I still love them dearly. So let me show you first books where I have only 1 or 2 pictures finished. In the Halloween I have one page where I tested different brands. Artisa, I think that here it's probably polychromosis. Here are definitely Colorsoft together with Prismacolors. Prismacolors here, and in my opinion, Prismacolors, they blend like butter on this paper. It's totally possible to work with other different brands, even with cheap pencils, budget pencils, but Prismacolors will give you such a pleasure. And my second page here, where I wanted to play on the contrast between those empty stone walls of the castle, stone ladders, stone steps, stone balustrades probably, to create good contrast to the wine red color of her dress. Of course, I was inspired by beautiful autumn palette with orange, red and green. And I think that even the fur of wolf also looks quite nice. I do love the vampires series in this book because they have more sweet faces comparing to her regular girls. They look a little bit more adult, and that's my favorite pictures in this book. I hope that one day I will color them. So 2 pictures in Halloween, 2 pictures in Mermaid. The first one with which I started to color, it was extremely complicated, with a lot of those sea creatures, with corals. Well, for such a detailed picture, I think that it was not a bad start, even if I think that maybe I need to do more smooth coloring on her hair. They don't look like fluffy locks of hair. That white paint, it didn't blend quite well with the basic colors. The second picture here I love much more, and that's where the best abilities of Prismacolor pencils, they show nicely, starting from those dark colors on the background, color on her hair, where apart from traditional brown I decided to add a little bit of pink and lavender. I actually added it on many areas, so this pink lavender glowing, it really helped to connect all the areas of the picture. The gemstone here, the light inside of the jar where we have this microcosm of sea monsters, then the magical potion, and even slightly pinkish shading on her skin. So I think that it's really nice. When I return to this book, I hope that not if, but when, I will do another page from this series. It's also microcosm, but lady is even more beautiful. I also have Alice in Wonderland, but not not a colored picture here. I hadn't touched it yet, even if it's also very beautiful. But at least in her first book, here I had several colored pictures, and that's where my huge love started. I have this vault, again another one page where I try to show the fragility of the earth, that we need to take care of it. I wanted to do very dramatic background, starting from dramatic clouds and bloody shining on the dark waves. Only around the girl there is an area of normal water. As usual, I forgot to put bookmarks, but that's okay. I love to experiment here with interesting blends, because paper allows you to apply many layers of pencils. So gray and lavender on the with a little bit of green on the stones here. Interesting, unusual sky and clouds. I think that for such a fantasy pictures you can experiment a little bit more and to use unusual colors for the background. And of course I am glad that here we have a lot of interesting details on the costumes. Leather details, metal details, a lot of feathers. Here I'm mostly proud of my color palette and how I did her skin tone. Here I tried to show the duality of the lady, that during the day she is probably a Venetian lady, so she has a beautifully embroidered costume and carnival mask. I also added a small detail of Venetian boat. And during the night she turned into the Bat Queen, so she has different style of hair decoration, different style of dress and mask. It was interesting to imagine such kind of story and to color in different ways left and right side of her costume. This book, it was extremely popular like 5 or 6 years ago, and at that moment it was difficult for me to color many pictures because they were everywhere. But now, when almost no one colors it, I think that it's easier for me to return to it. Actually, I fall in love with this book when I saw this picture colored by Peter Hewitt. I immediately decided that I need the book and that I will enjoy it. I love to color here both small and big pictures. Here I have my pirate ladies, 2 of them. I have pretty pirate Polly, and I was extremely proud of myself when I did those waves and when I did her hair. I still think that her hair is awesome. And another one, maybe even more badass, it's Captain Molly Morgan. I again decided to experiment with her hair, and I tried to show that maybe she is somewhere on Caribbean islands, so both color of the water, color of the sand, they are very vibrant, exactly how I imagine Caribbean islands. I really want to color this one. Somehow it was one of the most interesting for me since the beginning, and I still don't have enough courage to start it. And this beautiful tropical lady. Another picture for Halloween, it's apocalypse picture. Here the biggest amount of efforts I put into orange and gray purple clouds. For such dramatic sky I blended various colors of Prismacolor pencils, again because paper is really good. And I think that another good element here is her black wings. They look like quite fluffy. Sometimes I love to do such shorter, smaller projects. So if you want to purchase just one book, I can recommend either this one or Halloween. I think that they are the best. Yeah, Alice's book is also Alice in Wonderland. It's also interesting, but maybe a little bit more complicated. For several years, it was my one and only book where I had pictures for Halloween, so I did quite several of them with this witchery where the girl tries to make some spell, maybe to add life to her friends' skeletons. Quite interesting. And again, I love to experiment with color of sky, color of clouds to add more dramatic effect. Alice. I think that I have quite a good video where I show how I did those bronze and golden gears metal parts. I will put you a link in the end of this review. This one was complicated because I messed up with the color of frogs. I would love to do them in slightly different colors. They were in the same color as those lips. Apart from it, it's not bad. And it's another one which I really want to color. Here I have Flora. I was happy with it and I immediately started Fauna. I don't know why I abandoned it. I think that it also was some problems with video. I was disappointed as a video blogger and I somehow didn't finish this one. It's a shame. Where is my absent butterfly? Yeah, this one here. I love her face and it's very interesting to work with various shades for color. A little bit of gray, a little bit of cream and green. I think that it's one of the best books where you can use all your creativity for different skin tones, different color of hair. So that's why I love this book. And because here, even if it's big size of pictures, I never get bored of pencil backgrounds, again because of the paper quality. So I definitely can recommend this book, and her other books are also quite lovely if you adjust to her style. Sometimes it's confusing how to color faces without shading, but I accepted the style from the artist, more heavy shading around her eyes and just some indication for the nose and lips. For me, I think that it's totally enough. Well, thanks for watching. In this video I included several of my best books and I hope that it will serve me as a push to color something in Dragon's book and to return to J.Becket-Griffith.